there are 15 members of city council, but only about 30% of the council members are Hispanic. City's about 8.5% black, but about 20% of the council members are black. And in a world of diversity, equity, and inclusion, this is unacceptable because the premise is, as you hear these people talking, if you are a Hispanic, you ought to be living in a Hispanic district run by a Hispanic politician. If you're black, living in a black district, obviously your city council person ought to be black, and so forth. How incredibly divisive and incredibly insulting that is. As I mentioned, I was born and raised here. My family was the second black family to move into an area of South Central Los Angeles. And within a few years, that area was all black. However, there was a assemblyman named Kenneth Hahn, who's white. And unlike a lot of the political politicians in that time, he decided to keep his seat and ran in a district now that was majority black, even though it was majority white when he got elected. He would go to black churches, he would go to black recreational centers, he'd go to black schools, he met friends, and black people loved Kenneth Hahn. By the way, he is the father of the future mayor of LA, Jim Hahn, and the reason Jim Hahn got so much black support is because black people remembered his dad fondly. My point is, this premise, as you hear when these members of city council and labor leader are talking, the premise is that if you are black, you can't be represented by a white person. If you're an Asian person, you can't be represented by anybody other than an Asian person, and so forth. I mean, what is the Hispanic position on crime? What is the Hispanic position on homelessness? What is the Hispanic position on why people are leaving LA for the first time in years because of the high cost of living? What is the Hispanic position on clean air, clean water? What is the Hispanic position on the fires we have here in California? What is the Hispanic position on the drought we're having here in California? The whole thing is insulting and condescending. With the consumer price index increasing yet again, the stock market has been topsy-turvy. And what's our illustrious leader doing to quell the surge of inflation that's destroying American families? Oh yeah, spending more money and adding to the burden. Don't bury your head in the sand while your savings get decimated. Do something about it. Visit LarryForGold.com. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on protecting your savings with gold and a tax-sheltered account. These are great people with almost 20 years experience converting IRAs and 401ks into precious metals IRAs. Don't allow the left to devalue your savings. Visit LarryForGold.com and claim your free, no-obligation info kit from Birch Gold. Again, you can own physical gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account, and Birch Gold will help you do it. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of satisfied customers. Check them out right now. Visit LarryForGold.com and secure your future with gold. Do it today. Name Nuri Martinez. Nuri Martinez is the president of LA City Council, the first Latina president we've ever had. Another member is a guy named Gil Cedillo. Another member is a guy named Kevin De Leon. And the fourth leader is a labor leader, as I mentioned, named Herrera. These are the 4 people who are talking, complaining about districts, complaining about this person, that person, and the comments that you hear are extremely racist. This first part, however, has to do with them denigrating, ridiculing, and attacking a congressman named Mike Bonin. Mike Bonin is white, he is gay, he has an adopted black child. And one of them refers to him as a little B word that rhymes with witch. That would be the union leader, who, by the way, has since resigned. So apparently there was a parade, MLK Day parade, and Mike Bonin brought his kid on the parade, and the kid, in the view of these councilpersons, was acting up. So here's what they said about Mike Bonin and about his black child.
So getting back to Marquise, I told Danny, if you want to cut a deal and if you want to make like the boss moves, I would go I know that idea. I said, tell her, go take it from his friend. Don't go after. Leave him alone. Go get the airport from his little brother, that little Bonin.
That little B word, Bonin. Would she have called Bonin a little B word if Bonin was heterosexual? Isn't that homophobic? This is Nuri Martinez, the president of the city council, referring to a colleague, Mike Bonin, as that little B word.
I go, what is with Bonin? I said, Bonin is black guy.
What is with Bonin? Bonin thinks he's effing black.
I don't think he's black. I go, he thinks he's black. I told her the same thing. He goes, why are they so close?
He's from Massachusetts. This kid, the one here, that's kid.
Why are they so close? Why is Bonin so close with black people? He's from Massachusetts.
I asked him during Black History Month, lo lleva al council y lo pone acá en el, remember, it's an accessory.
And they both, and all of them say that Mike Bonin uses his kid as an accessory. One even refers to him as a lawn jockey. One even says he holds him around like a Louis Vuitton bag.
When we do the MLK parade,
Just like when
They used to have those statues in plantations.
They used to have those statues in plantations. He uses the kid like a lawn jockey.
the Goyard bag or the Louis Vuitton bag.
I don't even know what a Goyard bag is, but I know what a Louis Vuitton bag is. Su negrito, not a term of endearment.
For MLK, for the parade that Herb used to organize.
Now here they talk about how the kid, in their view, was misbehaving on the MLK parade float.
All the council who wanted to join Herb on the float, because he used to do a whole bunch to be nice. Bonnie would be like, hey, Nuri, are you going to the MLK? Well, Herb invited me, I'll go. Okay, I'm bringing whatever the kid's name is. I'm like, it's like the oddest thing. It's like black and brown on this float. And then there's this white guy with this little black kid.
There's this white guy, this little black kid who's misbehaved. Gives you an idea how they feel about white guys. By the way, it's obvious all four of these people are Hispanic.
Este niño has they're not doing that. Yeah, no, they're not doing, the kid bouncing off the effing wall on the floor, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm over here trying to parent this kid. I'm like, you can't do that. I said no. And Mike is like, I'm like, you're not teaching your kid anything. It's me and Karen Bass on the floor trying to check this out, okay? Me?
By the way, Karen Bass is the leading candidate for mayor of LA. I'll come to Karen Bass and the fact that Nuri Martinez supported her in a minute.
Bass y la esposa de Marquise, Carrie. And we're all looking at each other because we're the three women on the floor. Like, this kid's gonna tip us over. Because he's literally hanging on the rails.
Well, you can't let them off. The spectators will be.
We can't let him off because the spectators will beat his blank. I don't even know what that even means. We can't let the kid off the float because the spectators will beat him up, says his union leader.
Yeah.
They're raising him like a little white kid.
They're raising him like a little white kid. What does that mean?
I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Like, let me take him
The kid needs a beat down?
around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? Ven para acá.
It's a pinch.
Yeah.
He's blank.
So anyways, getting back to redistricting.
So anyway, let's get back to complaining in this meeting. It's for Latino strength for the foreseeable future, end of quote. Again, LA crime is up dramatically. Homelessness is up dramatically. People are leaving the city for the first time. Did they say a word about crime? Did they say a word about homelessness? This tape, by the way, is a whole hour long. We just played you parts of it. Did they say a word about the quality of public education? In California, our scores are near the bottom of all 50 states. And in LA, it's worse than California in general. And 80% of the kids in our government schools in California are black and brown. Did they say a word about the poor quality of education black and brown kids are getting? No. It was all about our power, what district should be where, whether this district should be a Hispanic district, if it's a white district, if it's a black district, who should run it. That's all they were talking about. Now, let's talk about some of the specific things that were said during this hour-long thing. They were talking about part of the airport district. And Martinez says, go get the airport from his little brother, referring to Mike Bonin. That little B word, Bonin. She referred to Bonin's child as an accessory. You heard some of the comments. Bonin effing thinks he's black. You heard that. The union leader referred to Bonin as that little B word. Martinez said the child is being used like she used a Hispanic term, which means he's like a monkey. Martinez attacked Oaxacans. These are Mexicans from an area of Mexico called Oaxaca. She attacked them because she didn't know whether or not they were part of an area of LA called Koreatown or K-Town, and she demeaned them. Quote, I see a lot of little short dark people in this area of K-Town, she said. And she said, I was like, I don't know where these people are from. I don't know what village they came from, how they got here. They are tan feos, which means they're ugly. This is a Latina referring to other Latinos as from an area of Mexico, don't know where they got here, how they got here, but they are ugly. Martinez then refers to the LA DA, whose name is George Gascon, who happens, by the way, to be from Cuba. She says about him, F that guy. He's with the blacks. Close quote. By the way, Nuri Martinez rose to power because she had a black mentor. And now she's referring to blacks as the blacks, as if they're in some category. You know, they're not really normal people. They're in a category. And there is a city council person named Mark Ridley Thomas who is facing an investigation over ethics violations. And the question was whether or not he should still be paid while he's being investigated. The city has since ruled that he is not to be paid while he's being investigated. But at the time, there was a debate over whether or not he should be paid. And in this conversation, Nuri Martinez, the city council president, who, by the way, has since resigned from her presidency, which we'll talk about in a second, she says that decision will be up to the city controller as to whether or not Mark Ridley Thomas gets paid. And she says, it'll be up to this particular individual, who happens to be white. And she said, white politicians will mother F you in a heartbeat. You need to talk to that white guy, referring to the city controller. It's not us. It's the white members on the council that will mother F you in a heartbeat. Close quote.